Hi everybody, and welcome to Jewell Family Farm. Well, we got our snow last night, and I would say it's a good 4.5 inches that we got. I'm going down to feed the rabbits, and the horses and the goats and the chickens have all been fed already, so I'm going to go down here and take care of them. But I wanted to see a little bird sitting up here on the ledge this morning, and I know that the little birds are looking for food. And I've got a bunch of bird feeders out front that have seed in it, but I've ran out of bird feed, so I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I have some saltine crackers I was going to crumble up here on the back porch for them, just because they're looking for food, and that's all I have that I think that they might could eat. So I'm going to just crumble them up some crackers and give it to them. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I know they're hungry. I guess something's better than nothing. I'm just going to give them a few. I just don't like to see anything going hungry. They're up here looking for food, because I usually have some out here, but I've ran out for right now. So if I crunch them up good enough, it won't hurt them. Alright, I'll leave those there. We'll try to get down here to the rabbits and feed them if I don't fall going down these steps. I haven't been able to get out here and clean them off yet. I had a stick down here, but I don't know what happened to it. It helps me get down to the barn. Oh, well, of course it's up on the top of the stairs. I had it sitting down here. I guess somebody moved it. Or maybe I moved it. Who knows? Pretty good for walking in the snow. Now to get back down the stairs again. It's the only thing about homesteading when you get older is trying to get down here to take care of stuff in the snow without falling. I bet I fell 6 times last winter. Thank goodness I didn't get hurt though. But I try to be careful. Try to take extra precautions now so I don't fall. Beautiful out here. I hear somebody out somewhere up through there. Might be my son-in-law. Oh yeah, he's up there cleaning off his steps. He's probably wanting to, he likes to grill out a lot. He's from Texas and he likes barbecue. He likes to barbecue, so he might be getting ready to start the smoker up this morning. I didn't let the goats out this morning. I didn't want them to get hurt, but something's been walking down through here this morning though. I can see the footprints in the snow. Not sure what it is. Probably a deer. Takes me a long time to get down to the barn in the snow. I have to be so careful. Man, it's pretty out here. It's so quiet. That's what I liked about when we first moved out here. We moved from a more suburb type area. It wasn't really suburban, but it was still out in the country, but we did have closer neighbors. But when we first came out here and we stood on the property after they had cleared it off, I thought, it's so quiet. In the summertime, over that way is Lake Anna. It's a man-made lake, but it's huge. It goes on for quite a long ways, and there's a lot of boaters, and we can hear the boats out there in the summertime, so it's not as quiet in the summer because of the boats. But I mean, it's not like overwhelmingly loud or anything like that, but you can't hear them. There's something, I don't know if this is what this is, but it might be chicken tracks. I don't know, but it went into the little, in there, in my little hen house, my tiny little hen house. That's where the chickens lay a lot of eggs, in there. I guess our panels aren't working today because they're covered in snow. That was another thing that the solar people said, oh, the snow won't lay up on those. And so far, I've not been real impressed with our solar panels. I haven't talked about those because I was giving them a chance to really see. But, yeah, I'm not real impressed with those. I don't think that they save us a whole lot of energy, really. Now, maybe in the long run, they will, because our electric bill most likely won't go up like some people's will, like most people's will in the future. But right now, I'm not real impressed with them. I don't think the man told us the truth about the solar panels. And he pretty much was deceitful about them. Like, he told us that we would have electricity, you know, even when the electricity went out from the electric company. He told us that we would have electricity, and that's just not true. So I was not happy with that. Hey guys, you ready for some breakfast? I cut the hair from around his face a little bit so you could see, he could see me and I could see him. Look at that cute little nose. So cute. Hello. Hello there, Buttercup. Hello, Buttercup. Let's get you guys something to eat. We finally, I think, fixed this so that he can't get out over there to the girl. Hey, trickster. And this girl has got a huge nest. I don't know if you can see it or not. There's no babies in there. She just, for some reason, likes building a huge nest. I don't know if you can tell how big it is, but it's gigantic. Oh, she's in her box. Peekaboo. Oh, man. She likes that. You still have some hay in your feeder. You got food, too. You don't need any more. Yeah. You need some water, though. Okay, I'm going to feed these guys. Okay, so here we are back in the kitchen, and today I'm going to be making an egg custard. So the first thing I wanted to show you was this pot here. My mom gave me this pot quite a few years ago, and I never used it because I really didn't know what to use it for. but it's got a big dome lid on it. I don't know where she got this from. And I know that it was popular at one time, you know, like on the commercials on TV, how they do those info commercials. Well, it was, I think, one of those, but I just don't remember what the name of it was, and it doesn't have the name of it on anything. But inside of this, it comes with a spring pan, a non-stick spring pan. Then it comes with this little rack, and then it's deep. It's really deep. I don't know if you could tell on here, but it's pretty deep. So my oven stopped working, and I had forgotten that my oven didn't work. I had made a cake. So I thought, okay, well, I've got the cake batter made. Now what am I going to do? So I thought about this pan, and I thought, I think it had a baking pan in it. So I got it out and I looked, and sure enough, it had a spring foam pan in it. So what I did was I took this rack out. I think I took the rack out. No, I left the rack in. I put some water in it. I let the water come up to a boil. I poured my cake mix in here and I put it in here. And then I put the lid on it. Now, this has got an open and a close valve on it. So I closed the valve and I let it bake. And that cake came out perfect. It was so good. So I thought, okay. And then I thought was, okay, I had some pork ribs. So I thought, well, I don't have an oven. So I thought, well, I'm going to cook these pork ribs, steam them on here. So what I did was I laid them on here and I seasoned them and everything. And I put some water in the bottom and I just put the lid on top. And I let those pork ribs cook on there very low, on low heat for, I don't know how long I let them cook. But those were the most tender pork ribs I have ever ate. So I'm really excited about using this pan here since my oven doesn't work, and it works for a lot of different things. So today I'm going to make some egg custard, and I'm going to try to bake it in here and see how that turns out. All right, so let me get all this put away. All right, so what I'm going to do is I put some water in the bottom of this pan here, because when you're baking this custard in the oven, you have to put it in a deep pan. You set your little cups down there that has your egg custard in it, but you have to cook it in water. Set them in water, and you'll see what I'm talking about later. But right now, I just want to get this water hot because the recipe does call for you to pour boiling water in the pan before you put it in the oven. So I'm going to go ahead and let this get really hot, and then I'll show you what else we're going to do. Okay, so to this, it calls for 5 eggs. So they want you to have them at room temperature. They have to be room temperature eggs. So just whisk the eggs up. I like to use this little bowl. This little bowl comes from the dollar store, but I like it because it's got that little spout on it. It'll be easy to pour into the jars. Or your ramekins. You can use these to bake it in, whichever you like. I'm going to use those jars. Alright, now we're going to add 2 cups of milk. So the other 1.5 cups of milk, I'm going to put in this saucepan and I'm going to heat it up. All right, so that's heating up. You want the milk that I put on the stove, you want it to get hot, but you don't want it to boil. So you just want it to get good and hot without boiling. All right, so just mix all this up. Okay, we're going to add some vanilla. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We have to wait for this other milk to heat up a little bit before we put our sugar in. That way the sugar will dissolve better. Okay, so this is about as hot as you want your milk to get. You can see it's just got a few little bubbles around the edges, and it's really hot. So to this, I'm going to add the sugar, so the sugar will melt. And I'm going to stir that up really good. Now this is the tricky part. You have to be very careful about pouring this hot milk on these raw eggs. So you want to do just little drizzles at a time and continuously whisk this. Otherwise, these are just like going to turn into scrambled eggs once you put this hot liquid in there. So make sure you get the beating it first and just add little dribbles at a time. And whisk it really good. Once you get about half of it in there, it should all be probably about the same temperature. And you don't have to worry about your eggs cooking. But this is really a tricky thing to do. It takes some practice. But if you just pour little dribbles in at a time and just keep on whisking it, you should be okay. And this is whole milk, by the way, in this recipe. You can also use half and half. Alright. Let's get up really good. Alright. Now I'm going to use jelly jars. I like to use jelly jars for this, especially in this cooker that I'm getting ready to use, because they're higher and you want to immerse the pudding down in the water as much as you can, but you don't want so much water till it spews up. Let me explain this. Where it spews up and comes back into your pudding. So I'm just going to fill these about half full for now. I might need to get another jelly jar because I'm not sure how much this makes. But you need something that pours like this. I'm going to have to get a couple more jelly jars. Yeah, a little bit more to that one. Maybe I'll just fill them up a little more. I think I need one more. Alright. All right, so that made 6 jelly jars. Almost full. These are just the little jelly jars. You see, this is the pint size, and this is the small ones. Okay, but like I said, you can use these ramekins if you're going to do yours in the oven, but for me to do it in this cooker, I'm not sure, you know, how much water might get into the custard, so I wanted them to be a little bit higher. Okay, now we're going to go stick them in the cooker. Okay, so I have the water boiling in here. And I don't want it boiling while this is cooking. I'm going to set those down in there like that. I just want this to stay good and hot, so I'm probably going to set my my stove on, just here's low and maybe here's 2, so in between, like on 1, just to keep the water good and hot. I'll set these all around the edges. Alright, now I'm just going to leave that like that, and I'm going to put the lid on it. And I've got the little thing closed, so all the heat stays in there. So I'm going to set my timer for, it says 40 minutes. I'm going to set mine for 30 minutes and then check it. So we'll be back when this finishes cooking. So if you're cooking this in the oven, baking this in the oven, you would use a baking pan with sides, of course, because you're going to set your jars in there, and then you're going to add some boiling water to that in the bottom of the pan and put it in the oven. You're going to have your oven set at 350 to start off with. Then when you put your pudding or your custard into the oven, you're going to turn your oven down to 325. And it says to bake for 40 minutes in the oven. Okay, so let's check on this. This has been cooking for about 35 minutes. Oh yeah, it's set up. You can also test it with a knife or a toothpick. And see how nice and firm that is, and it comes out with nothing on it. And that's done. Now, the only thing I did do, I forgot to put the nutmeg on top, so I did sprinkle some nutmeg on there before it started cooking, if you like nutmeg. Alright, let's get these out of the water. Okay, so you would probably be able to bake these like this in a crock pot, or if you have a big deep pot with a lid on it, you could probably do that. I just did it this way because my oven's broke, but most likely if your oven's not broke, you're going to cook them in the oven. So this is what it looks like. Okay. And it's just an egg custard. These have to be put in the refrigerator, kept in the refrigerator. They can't be left out on the counter. This is probably pretty hot. I don't know if I want to taste it or not. It's really good. But it's jiggly, custardy. Not real sweet. This is really good for kids. Of course, if they don't have egg allergies or anything like that, but it's got a lot of protein in it. It's got milk in it. It's got eggs in it, and a little bit of sugar. So this is really good for dessert or some kind of a snack during the day. Take care. Count your blessings, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.